Hello, everybody. It's Brian and Marianne, and what you are seeing right now is a raid on a Bedrock Anarchy server. So we've been playing Minecraft. We've been playing Minecraft for quite a while. We enjoy it. It's one of our things that we do kind of in our off time. And we found this Bedrock server that's kind of like a Bedrock version of 2B2T, which is the famous Anarchy server on the Java edition. This is 2B2E, and as an Anarchy server, it can be pretty brutal. I mean, it's kind of expected that your base will be griefed, and if you run into another player, there's a good chance you will be killed.
Which happens. Which happened to us.
Yes, it's happened to us. So this is a raid. This particular location was chosen because we came across some videos of someone building a base on 2B2E, and unwisely they left their coordinates on their video. So I feel like we would be benefiting them if we taught them a lesson about exposing your coordinates to other players on an Anarchy server.
As you can see right now, I'm getting TNT out of my ender chest because we are going to blow shit up.
Yeah.
This is our very first ever grief.
Yeah. Now, we've come across a lot of bases before, and sometimes we'll take stuff. We will loot other players' chests and things, but we don't usually grief bases. However, this one, I feel like these guys they just need some help. They need some help.
I want to point out, every so often I look down, and I'm doing that because I'm looking for other players' gamer tags.
That's right. We came in here not knowing if they would be online at the time.
Yeah.
So if we saw a gamer tag, then we may need to PvP and kill somebody.
Yeah, and I would also like to point out that I am Miss Feral Cat, the bed breaker.
Yes.
If I see a bed in this server, I break it.
Yeah.
Because you should bury your bed.
Yeah, you have to hide the beds because if your bed is broken and you die, you end up back at spawn. And spawn on this server and really any Anarchy server is
a disaster.
Yeah, it's really brutal.
Yes.
One of the videos that we talked about doing is a tutorial about how to get out of spawn on this server, because it can be tricky, but we've done it more than once.
Yes. We have actually made it back to spawn a couple of times now.
Yeah.
And made our mark.
Yeah.
With signs and selfies, which we can post.
Yes.
We can share our selfies at the end of the video.
Yeah. It's an Anarchy server, which is what it implies. There aren't really any rules, and if you run across something, the chances are somebody's already destroyed it. But if you build something, you should probably just plan on somebody coming across it and destroying it.
Yes. This was our opportunity to be the first ones to destroy an intact base.
Yes. Yes. So this is a new base. Oh, look at that. Some elytra.
Yeah.
So you can't leave that stuff like that lying around. People are going to come get it. This is shot from Marianne's perspective, so you can see me. We're crouching because it's harder to see the gamer tag when you're crouched.
Yeah, when you're crouched, in order to see people's gamer tag, you have to be pretty much right up on them.
Yeah.
So we have the element of surprise, so we decided to crouch at first.
Yeah.
It also, like I said, it hides our gamer tags, and then we are in a better position to defend ourselves if we are discovered.
Right. We ended up not being discovered. They were not online when we did this raid. So I think that's for the best. You know, they'll come back. They'll see the lesson that we've taught them, and they'll be appreciative. Yeah, and all this work was done, you know, while they were away. So yes, we got these coordinates from a YouTube video. It's probably best practice to not give anyone your coordinates on an Anarchy server because, well,
This will happen.
yes. So this again is from Marianne's perspective. I'm gonna let you or let her talk about what she's seeing, what she's doing here.
Right now, I'm checking these levels for loot. So in the video that Brian found, there was chests on one of these levels. It was just filled with chests. Since that video was created and posted, those chests have been removed. We did not find any there. So, but that's what I'm doing. I'm checking out all the levels because before you grief a base, you should make sure there's no goodies there.
Yes, I mean, if you're not going to take the loot, it's just a waste, you know?
Right.
Yeah. One of the things that I wanted to do was drop some lava on this base, but I didn't have any. We had talked about maybe popping into the nether and grabbing some lava and then coming back. But while we were there, I could hear lava under the floor.
Yes.
So I dug down a bit and I found filled a couple buckets, and I was able to drop the lava without having to go to the nether and get some.
Portals in this game are dangerous because you could spawn anywhere in the nether, and a lot of the portals are traps.
Yes.
So you have to be very cautious when you go through a portal from the overworld into the nether. Honestly, you have to be cautious when coming from the nether to the overworld too, because they're often trapped in the overworld with end crystals that will kill you instantly.
We figured out that the nether portals anywhere near spawn are trapped. You can't go through any of those portals. And we traveled as close as we could get to 0 in the nether to see what was up. And
sorry to interrupt you. Here is where Brian discovers lava,
right,
so that he can fill a couple of buckets to do the carnage that he wanted to do.
Yes. This was very satisfying. I'm glad that we could do this, because I was going to be disappointed if I couldn't leave some lava. But speaking of lava, yeah, basically for like 160 blocks around 0 in the nether, it's just a huge curtain of lava.
Yes.
So you can't go through any of those portals. You will end up in lava and you will die.
So let's see. I'm still just exploring, looking for hidden passages. Because we hide things.
Yes.
So at our base, we have hidden chests, and we bury our beds. Mm-hmm. Which I will show whenever I do the spawn video. I will show how we manage to mark our spawn points with fewer chances of our beds being discovered.
Yeah, and there's always a chance of it being discovered anyway. You really can't. There's no way to be completely safe, especially with people using hacks and things. Mm-hmm. So you can't. You really need to expect to be found at some point. But there are some things that you can do that make it a little harder for people, looking for you.
So here you saw me split the TNT. I wanted to share some with Brian to give him an opportunity to blow shit up too. So right now I think he's looking for a good place to put the lava to cause the most damage.
Yeah.
So pretty much anywhere you put lava here is going to cause damage because there's wood everywhere. Mm-hmm. So it's going to set things on fire.
I was wanting to put the lava up high and let it flow down to the bottom so that it spreads as much as possible. So I'm going up this ladder. This is the same area where Marianne just checked out. And I was really surprised that the chests weren't there. So if they hid their chests after their most recent video, that was the smart thing to do.
Yes.
Good job.
And you can see other players in the chat, and people die often.
Yes.
So
all the time you see players saying, "Oh, I can't get out of spawn. Help! I can't get out of spawn. I keep dying." Well, that's part of the challenge. That's part of the adventure. So I do see people helping other players out, especially new players at spawn, which I think is. I'm not sure if that's a good thing, because you don't want your Anarchy server to get the reputation for being soft.
yeah.
It's supposed to be a big challenge at the beginning.
Right now, Brian is up at that level, also looking to make sure there's no hidden chests.
Right, and I did not find any.
Yeah, before he drops lava. As for spawn, we've been back to spawn a couple times, and our first time back there, we got killed.
Mm-hmm.
We got ambushed.
Yeah.
And one hit kills.
Yeah.
And then after we respawned, which we had put beds nearby, we got back there pretty quick. We saw a gamer tag, and we chased that poor guy down, and
well, I don't see why there's any reason to have mercy on a new player. Look, you don't want your Anarchy server to be soft.
No.
You want new players to immediately recognize the challenge. So, yeah.
Okay, right here we're talking about our game plan. What are we going to do? So whenever we play Minecraft, we are almost always right next to each other. So we don't really converse in the chat unless we're talking to other players.
That is a big advantage too, because it helps with communication.
Yeah.
Where we can talk back and forth. We've got a pretty good shorthand that we use to communicate, so we can strategize really quickly and on the fly. So that's the first TNT exploded.
Yes. And as we said, Brian and I have already been up there to check out any loot, and now I think he's going back up there to drop lava.
I think this is the time that the lava was dropped. Yeah.
And at one point, I do sneak under there and look up and see it coming down.
That's a good view. I'm glad you got that. So, in case there's a concern that we're just being really mean to new players, well, yes, I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
But also keep in mind, this is a game. These are pixels on the screen. No one is actually harmed in any of this. So don't take it too seriously. But especially on a server like this, this is not only permitted, but it's expected.
Yeah, and now there's monsters spawning over there because I blew it up, and so there's no torch, there's no light, and the monsters spawn at a higher light level here. For some reason, the mechanics in the Anarchy server are quite different.
There's the lava.
There's the lava.
Yes. The other place I wanted to place lava was at the top of these stairs, so it would flow straight down the stairs. So at some point you should see me drop some lava at the top of the stairs and just let it go.
I don't know if I got you actually dropping it, but I do look down eventually and see it down there.
So yeah, I think any second now I'm gonna drop it as you are climbing up.
Yeah.
That was very satisfying. I was very happy. Those two placements would allow the lava to flow down and spread about as much as it can.
Yes. Right now, I'm looking for a good place to start putting TNT. as I'm looking for more loot possibilities. So
I should note also we are not crouching now because by this point we were pretty satisfied that they were not online. So we felt pretty safe moving around a bit more. So we're going to place TNT there. We've already gone through those chests and taken anything that we thought might be valuable, which wasn't much. We already destroyed their beds, and now we're going to just leave them a present here. Yeah, there you go. Oh,
yeah.
look at that. See, that's very satisfying.
Yes, it is.
So they're on this little island, and they put a glass wall around it, and we did break some of that glass wall. We didn't go around and break the whole thing.
You can see that they're still working on it. The glass wall in this section is not as tall as the rest. You can see where I put my first TNT down there at the bottom.
That's the glass right over where we were just downstairs. They have a melon farm. I can't remember if we blew up the melon farm. You did blow. Oh, there you go.
I did. And remember, the water flowed down.
That's right. That's right. Yes. So, yeah. There's me crouching and looking at your handiwork. Oh yeah, check that out. I suppose if that water meets up with the lava that I dropped, it'll become cobblestone.
Yeah.
All right. The damage here. It's not that bad. They could rebuild.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Something that Brian and I might do, we talked about it, is give them some time to rebuild and then go back and do it again because they didn't learn their lesson the first time.
Right. If they're smart, they'll move.
Yes.
Because their coordinates are already out there. And we're not going to show their coordinates in this video, but they're not hard to find if you look for them. And if you do look for them, then it would maybe give their videos a few more views. So that'll give them something on YouTube. You know, that's the benefit to them, giving people a reason to go check out their videos. But if they're smart, they'll move because their coordinates are already out there.
Yeah, they'll move and then cover up their coordinates next time they... Okay, so here we are about to discover a room full of beds. And as you know, I am Miss Pharaoh Cat Bedbreaker.
Uh-huh.
And a zombie. I forgot about the zombie.
Yeah, a zombie was just hanging out there in the corner. That was the zombie ambush.
Yeah.
What a zombie nightmare that was.
So Brian and I broke all their beds.
Yeah.
And we took them.
Yes.
We stole them.
So if any of those were anyone's spawn point, not anymore they aren't. So yeah, this whole area, it had to go. It's a nice little structure. Nice little, looks like a hostel with all those beds.
Yeah.
And sheep.
I slaughtered the sheep.
We need the wool. We need the food.
Yeah.
And there that goes. Boom. Oh, that's fun. And we're not done with the TNT yet. We're still checking around to see if there's anything that we missed.
We did use all that TNT that we had.
Creeper down there.
Yeah.
The creepers on this server are incredibly powerful. They will one-shot kill you with armor on.
Yes. We had armor that was enchanted and diamond enchanted armor. And both of us had been one-shot killed with creepers. They are deadly in this server. Yeah. There's no joke. You cannot joke around with them. They will unalive you just like that. And they do spawn within range of you. I actually saw one spawn right in front of my face.
Yeah, the server is quirky. There's other quirky things about this server, and we can talk about those maybe in a future video. But this server is quirky. And some of that really increases the challenge.
Yes.
Which is fine. That's one of the reasons we're on here is for the challenge, for the adventure. We do have our own realm. We have our own worlds, but this gives us a chance to have a bit of an adventure with other players and doing things like this.
Oh yeah, that witch that was down there in our boat.
Oh yeah, yeah. We commando raided this. We snuck up in a boat, and then a witch got into our boat while we were doing the destruction. You had fun with the TNT, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, we'd been collecting it. We actually collected all that TNT from desert temples.
Right.
So there were several desert temples that we found that had been raided, but they left the TNT.
Right. Like, why leave the TNT? That's loot too. Of course, you don't want to get blown up with the TNT, so that's probably what everybody's thinking at first. Is that, oh, I just don't want to get blown up. Yeah. But then take the TNT. That's loot.
Right. Yes.
Oh yeah, I'm leaving our signs. We wanted to take credit for our work.
Yes.
We're not doing this anonymously. We are signing our art.
Yeah.
Here.
We do not do anything anonymously.
Yeah.
In fact, other players have mentioned our signs while we've been online. Like one player said, I've been seeing a lot of HCC and Miss Barrowcat signs.
Yeah.
I was like, yep, that's us. We leave our mark everywhere.
I'd like to point out also that our bases have been found. We've had a couple bases, and both of them have been found. And the players that found them were nice enough to leave signs. So yes. That's appreciated. It provides a little bit of a history on this server. You can kind of see the history of the server in these signs that are left behind. And I think that's important because a lot of the other history on this server will be erased just like this.
Yes.
Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. Now, threefer. Yeah. I think, before we left, I decided I wanted to leave all of their trees floating, too.
Yeah. There's the lava.
Yeah,
I knew so it was at the top of the stairs.
Right.
And if you know anything about Minecraft, you know that once water or lava flows downstairs, it does not stop until it reaches the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I thought that would be like the maximum destruction. That nether quartz block there, I decided to take that as a trophy. We'll put that back at our base as a memento of this raid and our conquering of somebody's base when they weren't even there.
Yes.
No combat here at all.
I was telling Brian that if we go back to this base at some point and they rebuilt, I'm going to break every last pane of glass there. Like,
well, if they're smart, they will move. Their coordinates are already out there. So I hope that a valuable lesson has been learned. I almost did a full string of TNT there, but that one didn't ignite. There we go. Last two. There we go. Boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom.
Floating arrow.
Yeah, there was a skeleton over there.
As far as Bedrock goes, there are things I like about it more than Java, but there are things about Java that I like more about Bedrock. It's kind of... if they could be combined and the best parts of both could be together, then I would be happy with that. But one thing about Bedrock, though, is that it's compatible across devices. You can send invites to people and they can join with their phone or whatever.
And you can also play with a controller without installing a mod.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mods in general are not as common but there are some things that you can do without needing a mod, just in the vanilla game, and I do like that. But one thing about 2B2E, rather than 2B2T, is that it is less populated, and it's newer.
Yeah.
So it's easier to get on. You don't have to wait in the queue as long, and there's more virgin territory and structures to blow up.
Yeah. Right now, I think Brian is getting his Silk Touch pickaxe so that so that you can get your trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were able to enchant armor and tools because of our second base.
Right.
It was far enough out that we were able to do a bunch of mining and get a lot of XP because there's no cheat. The cheats are turned off on this game. So when you die, you lose everything in your inventory and all of your XP. But we were able to build up enough XP to enchant things, and we had 2 Silk Touch pickaxes. And it's also a good idea to keep all of your valuables in an ender chest.
Yeah. Yeah, the high-end stuff, you really need to... That will be looted as soon as anybody sees it. More TNT. We're getting close to the end here. This was a pretty quick raid. We came, we saw, we blew it up.
Yeah.
So if the owners of this base ever see this, first of all, thank you for
this experience, for this wonderful bonding experience.
Exactly.
Between Brian and I.
Yeah.
And you gave us the opportunity to have our very first ever grief of a virgin base.
And you're welcome.
Yeah.
For the lesson learned here. But if you'd like to know the coordinates, I'm not going to tell you what they are, but I'm just going to say that you can find them pretty easily.
Yes. They are on, they have a YouTube video of their own. So. And
I hope this gets them some views because they didn't otherwise have a lot of views. So maybe we can get them some viewers, and that'll be maybe a consolation for the blocks that were destroyed here.
Yeah. Okay. We're coming up on the last couple minutes of the video.
We purposely don't have a lot of valuables on us because we thought we might need to PvP. And you never know, you could end up dying. So the stuff that we have in our inventory is really just necessities, but we now have a bunch of beds. So our inventories are now really full.
Yeah. Well, we always try to put beds every 10,000 blocks or so. So the beds will be used.
Yes.
And wool and wood are very valuable commodities in this server. So most people would just dump the beds, but I didn't want to do that because we'll use them.
We have little safe spaces all throughout this server, like in lots of places. We could, in theory, never be too far away from one of our safe spots. So that's one of the purposes for these beds, is to create a safe area where we can reset our spawn point so we're not too far away if we need to go back and recollect our stuff if we die, whatever.
Yeah, and also here we are about to do our first selfie. Also, when we travel together, so if one of us does die, the other person can collect our stuff so it doesn't despawn.
Yeah. So yeah, we're a team, we're a duo. I think our duo should have a name.
There we go.
Yeah, there's your screenshot. Our duo should have a name. We should have a team name. I think maybe in the in the comments, give us an idea of what our team name should be.
Yep.
So that's it. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
I hope that was as fun for you as it was for me.
Yeah.
And I don't know, if we do this again, we'll do another video. But we do have some other ideas for videos on this server. Like I said, a tutorial on how to get out of spawn, maybe a couple other things. So hope this was fun, and we will be back.
See you guys later.
Cheers.
Bye.